South Dakota state lawmakers advanced a bill that will criminalize doctors for providing certain medical procedures on transgender youth. If approved by the governor, medical professionals will no longer be able to perform gender-affirming operations or surgeries or prescribe hormone replacement therapy to aid a child's gender transition. Representative Fred DEUTSCH of Florence is the main sponsor of the bill, introducing it in the House State Affairs Committee as the Vulnerable Child Protection Act. He began by explaining the type of testimony committee members could expect to hear and why.
You're going to hear compelling testimony from victims, compelling testimony from doctors, from progressive feminists, including an attorney who formerly worked at the ACLU, from a mental health counselor, from a transgender adult, a former transgender teen, and others. This diverse group supports the bill because they believe that the procedures listed in this bill are not health care, but are criminal acts against vulnerable children who are too young to understand the impact that sterility, mutilation, and other health risks that are lifelong will have on them later in life. Before I walk you through the bill, I want to say from the outset that there's no contraindication between my respect for adults who chemically or surgically alter their bodies to live as transgender and my conviction that subjecting children to these interventions are deeply harmful and should be considered criminal.
Dr. Glenn Ritter, a board-certified family physician, testified before the committee regarding hormone blockers and the negative effects these drugs could have on youth.
Puberty blockers like Lupron are not FDA approved for use in healthy children. They can be used at times, and they have in the past, to chemically castrate sex offenders. Puberty blockers chemically castrate the children at the level of the brain, sending girls into premature menopause and boys turning into eunuchs. This sets them all up for infertility issues and harms, not only their physiologic development, but their transition into fully functional persons as adults.
Quincy PARKE testified against the measure, saying this bill is trying to fix a problem that does not exist.
I am neither male nor female. I am transgender. In reading about this bill, my first reaction was disbelief. I couldn't believe that the medication it took months for me to get access to might not be available to my younger friends and every other kid like me. Once I realized that, yes, this was a real bill trying to pass, I felt attacked. Not only was this bill attacking me, my friends, my family, my doctors, and my community, it was accusing us of a problem that does not exist. I read that one of the sponsors of this bill said in a media interview that, quote, "We can try to prevent harm to those who may later regret it by hitting the pause button before someone pushes a child into a mistake that cannot be corrected tomorrow," end quote. Let me be clear. As someone who researched my own treatment options and someone who this bill would directly affect, what you're doing is not preventing harm. You're actively denying medical treatment to children who have such strong feelings of disconnect from their bodies that over half of them are or have been suicidal at some point in their lives.
The bill was amended to lessen the charge from a Class 4 felony to a Class 1 misdemeanor. It also dropped the age from 18 to those 16 and younger. Committee members approved it on an 8-5 vote, sending it to the House floor for further consideration. For South Dakota Public Broadcasting, I'm Stephanie RISSLER.